كل طول البقاء فيها وللموت فيهم دبيب وللدهر شد على أهله فبين مشت ونبل مصيب ألا كل ما هو آت قريب وللأرض من كل حي نصيب
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Praise be to Allah for allowing us all together here tonight and also for giving me a really good car park out the front. Basically tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about my way to Islam. I, like Brother Clay there, grew up in the country. We had a farm. We also didn't have very much fun with chickens. And again, likewise, we didn't have any television. We were left to play amongst ourselves, make our own fun. And I guess I was left on those cold winter nights to contemplate about life when I was 4 years old and think about, was there more to life? And I didn't really think that much about it, to be honest. When we moved to the city, I remember my best friend at the time, who really it was only happening to be my best friend because we sat together in grade 3. He was a very devout Christian. Now, his parents were devout Christians. He was obviously just dragged along to church. But my whole life, I'd never been to a church, not once. My parents had always said, when you die, you're worm food. That's it. There's no afterlife. You're not going to come back as a bird or an ant or anything. That's it. Nothing. And they basically believed that because they'd been dragged along to church all their lives. And they hated every minute of it. So when we grew up, they basically told us there's nothing else. Alhamdulillah, that gave us our own opportunity to basically think about what we believed. And they didn't force us to believe or disbelieve anything. Now, my first spiritual experience happened in grade 3 when I was 8 years old. My friend, who I used to sit next to, best friend, and I used to have this thing where we'd say, swear on our friendship. If you say something and you mean it, you better swear on our friendship. Which, was a friendship for about 3 weeks, so it wasn't really a really big deal. But it still meant a lot. One time, one thing was particularly important to him. And he said, listen, bro, I'm not going to get you to swear on our friendship. I'm going to get you to vow to God. Now, I remember thinking to myself, vow to God? Oh, what's that mean? My friends said to me, it means if you lie, you're gone. You can't lie on this one, right? You can swear on our friendship and you can lie, but on this one, it's all over. And I went, what do you mean? He goes, well, God's everywhere. Now, obviously, he's Christian, so he's explaining his belief. I go, what do you mean God's everywhere? I can go to the toilet and he's there with me as well. What are you talking about? He said, he'll find you if you lie. And the worst part was I was lying. And I did vow to God. And that night, first spiritual experience, I was so scared that God was going to kill me in the middle of the night. Because I had no understanding of God or this or that, but I thought, I've lied and I've vowed to God, I'm a goner. Alhamdulillah, I'm not. And I made it. Anyway, this friend and I, obviously, we actually been friends for 19 years. Alhamdulillah, we're not friends anymore. But we were friends for quite a while. Now, I guess my story of my quest, my holy path, my way to Islam began in first year university. So coming from the country up, moving to the city, having my first spiritual experience, now I'm in first year uni. I had a particularly bad year. And this is no joke, seriously, it was a very bad year. My parents separated, which was devastating to me. I had always thought of my parents as being people who'd be together. In fact, my friend's parents he'd punch his wife and they're still together. And my parents were really nice to each other and they're not together. I couldn't work it out. So it rocked my world a little bit. I had 2 car accidents. I'd just gotten my P plates. Now, I'm a much better driver now. But I had 2 car accidents in 1 week. It was a pretty crappy car, so it didn't really matter that much. I had some problems with the police as well. I won't go into those details. Inshallah, there's no one here from the police. My dog died, which I was particularly upset about. I love that dog. And sadly, I had a friend pass away. He had cancer, and I watched him slowly die over the period of about 8 months. I think at that stage I started to think to myself, is this really all there is? Is this all there is to life? We're born, we eat, watch TV, die, that's it? I was pretty unsatisfied with that explanation, so I guess I started a holy quest, and I started thinking, I'm going to find out for myself what the real truth is, the truth for myself anyway. And naturally, as an Australian, as an Aussie, first thing I'm going to think of is go to a church. That's religion, you know, let's go to a church. My friend, again, very devoutly Christian friend, recommended I go to a particular church. I talked to the priest there. Well, actually, he's a pastor because of the particular sect that they're of. And I would talk to him about religious, questions that I had. And I kept finding that I was getting a lot of opinion. And he recommended that I go along to a church camp. I got a bit nervous, right? But alhamdulillah, nothing else happened except some fun. We went along to this church camp. I'm not meaning to offend anyone here, by the way, okay? We went along to this church camp, and everybody was singing so much, I couldn't believe it. I didn't know any of the words that anyone was singing. I didn't know any of the notes to hit or whatever. I felt pretty stupid. But it was a really nice camp. Everyone was really loving. Everyone was really nice to each other. Everyone kept on telling me that God loved me, and I kept on thinking, God killed my dog. He doesn't love me. One night when we were at this church camp, I remember that we were in tents and we all snuck out, as you do. And we went down, there was a lake not far from where we were camping. And we all sat down and we were talking about ghost stories. And I swear to you, this is what we believed, we could see across the lake the Grim Reaper. I mean, obviously the Grim Reaper's going to come to a church camp. That's where he's going to go. And we all, absolutely were so frightened. We all ran back to our tents and we told everyone the next day. And to be honest with you, I don't think I really did see it. I just wanted to fit in. So I was saying, yeah, it's over there, man, run. But at the same time, I don't think I actually saw anything. But what I realised at that stage was that all of these guys were the people on the camp were sort of searching for something more spiritual than they had. And so they were inventing these sort of ghosts and things because obviously I think that the sort of spiritual nature of the camp just wasn't there for them. From there, I guess, I'd sort of talked to some of these Christians and I'd talked to certain people and, I thought it was really nice what they were saying. There were some beautiful teachings in the Bible. I still believe there are beautiful teachings in the Bible, but I didn't find what I was looking for. At that time, I was working in a service station. You've probably paid me for some fuel in the past. It was quite a while ago, but I'm sure you have. And I was working alongside a Hindu. Now, we're not talking Apu from The Simpsons or anything like that, but lovely guy. He was studying as well at the same university, at this university, at Melbourne Uni. And we would have these deep theological debates at about midnight while people were buying their gas. They were taxi drivers, this and that. And one of the things that I kept on asking him is, talk to me about all these gods. I don't understand. How come you have to have all these gods? He goes, no, well, there's all these gods and there's a certain number of gods that are more powerful. I said, but seriously, bro, what's the deal with the guy with the elephant head? Come on, he's got a few arms, he's got an elephant head. Come on, what's going on there? You've got lions' heads, tigers' heads, eagles' heads. They're all so much better than the elephant's head. Why did he pick that one? And he didn't find it very funny. But again, I kept on, I was taunting him a little bit, but I was trying to find the truth. Another friend of mine is a Mormon, and that's the Church of the Latter-day Saints. And I found that this religion was actually a lot closer to what I thought a religion should be. These guys don't drink. They have dress codes. They obviously have to be quite modest. They don't drink caffeine, so Coke's out. So if anyone here likes Coke, forget it. Don't be a Mormon. You can't drink it. That's not the only reason, but anyway. Again, I went to their house. We had dinner, beautiful meal. And then they said, listen, let's all kneel on the floor and pray. And I thought, oh yeah, that's quite nice. It was a nice meal. I should probably thank someone for it. So we knelt down, and then everyone started singing again. And I thought, what is with this